What's up everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today I'm down at Randy Marion Subaru and we're going to take a look at one of their 2021 Subaru WRX Premium editions. Huge shout out to them for providing this vehicle for me today. Make sure you check out their website. That link is down in the description. So the model behind me is finished off in black crystal silica and it has an MSRP just under $32,000. But we're gonna start off today's review with what powers this WRX. So up underneath the hood, you'll find the 2-liter turbocharged flat 4 engine paired with the 6-speed manual transmission. It pumps out 268 horsepower around 5,600 RPM and 258 pound-feet of torque around 2,000 RPM. It is all-wheel drive. It weighs in right around 3,300 pounds. It'll do 0 to 60 in the mid 5-second range up to its top speed of 155 miles an hour. It also has a fuel capacity just under 16 gallons, so you can expect to see around 20 miles per gallon in the city and 27 out on the highway. This has a wheelbase of 104.3 inches. Its overall length is 180.9. It has a width of 70.7 and a height of 58.1 inches. Working our way to the exterior now for this WRX, I'm going to start off with the LED steering responsive headlights. You'll also notice too, this model has LED DRLs that surround the headlight, giving it a really cool design. The high beams are right in the middle, and then there's really nice contoured lines going off of the headlight housing itself. So you can see the shape of them right here along with this line that extends all the way to the grille. There's another one that tapers off from the hood. It matches to the bumper here all the way to the corner of the grille. And there's really nice lines that surround it to flow nicely. You'll also notice one on the edge of the bumper coming all the way down to the lower section here. So it just ties it in and gives it a great look. This also has turn signals. They're mounted down below along with the LED fog lights and a really nice trim piece to surround all of that. It also matches nicely with the entire trim piece you see in the lower section of the front bumper. Plenty of cutouts to provide maximum cooling to that engine. As we work our way up to the grille now, you'll see it's finished off in a dark black, obviously to match the rest of the vehicle. Has a really nice metallic flake to it. You can see all the cutouts as well. And then the largest opening to provide maximum cooling is up on the hood. You'll see this giant hood scoop. All that air can get channeled right to the top of the engine. It also gives it an aggressive look for this WRX design. Making our way to the side profile now for this model, I'm gonna start off with these wheels. So this model has a really nice set of 18s. They're finished off in black with a 5 double spoke design to them. Really nice to see the black on black, gives it a great look. This also has the WRX badge just behind the front tire. And then there's some really nice lines that run through this front quarter panel. You can see them start at the headlight. It goes all the way through this trim piece, where you'll also notice some more mesh on the back side, and it flows nicely all the way to the lower side skirt, where we have another portion that kind of juts out just a little bit to get that aggressive side profile look. You'll also notice there's another line that tapers off of that, and it goes underneath the mirrors, just above the door handles, all the way to the rear taillight, where you'll also notice another line wrapping right around this door handle going through the gas cap. So it gives it a really nice side profile look. This model also has a sunroof, so you'll see that up top, of course. This also has heated side mirrors. You can see all the black trim surrounding the windows just to tie it in nicely. And last up for this WRX, you'll notice this has a trunk lip spoiler. It's finished off in black, of course. Has really nice lines to it that flow nicely. You can see the contoured edges in the upper section of it. This also has LED taillights. You'll see the turn signals are on the inside of the housing. And then on the outside here, we have lines that flow nicely with the bodywork that I showed earlier. So it's nice how that flows into the taillight itself. This also has a backup camera, really nice lines in the middle section of the bumper. Down in the lower diffuser, you'll see that same trim that we saw in the front section, along with some fins just to give it an aggressive look. And then we have the quad tip dual exhaust. And now it's time to take a look at the interior on this WRX. So I have the vehicle locked and the key in my pocket. All I need to do is grab the door handle. You will hear it unlock, where now we can move on to this door panel. You'll see it's covered in black leather along with red stitching. It's on the armrest along with this trim piece just behind it. Really nice accent against this exterior black. We have the grab handle along with all the window controls, lock and unlock, and the side mirror adjustments. You'll also see the release handle. This model does have a 9-speaker audio sound system, so we have 1 speaker down in the lower section, along with a little bit of storage space if you need to use it. And then as we work our way to the interior, you can see the two-tone design for these cloth seats. We have more of that red stitching running down the bolsters just to tie them in nicely. These seats are also heated as well, which is a really nice touch, and I love the insert that runs down the middle. They are manual adjusting, so we have that slider bar to move it forwards and backwards, along with the lumbar support, and then just behind that is how you can recline and incline the seats. And now once inside with my foot on the brake and the clutch, it's time to start it up. And coming back to the gauge cluster, you'll see over on the left side is the tach and the engine temperature. On the right side is the miles per hour and the fuel gauge. And then right in the middle, there is an LCD screen. In the lower section, you can see the trip information along with the odometer. And then on the top of it, you can see a live readout for MPG and a few settings just underneath that. You can control all of that with these three buttons on the left side of the steering wheel. So if I push on the down arrow, you can see a timer appear along with miles per hour if you'd like to view it right there. And if I hold on that middle button, you can go through a few settings in your screen settings here, where you can look at your gauge movement along with your gear position indicator, any languages, so you can configure that. You can also go to default settings and then exit this system. And then as we work our way to the steering wheel, you'll see it's completely covered in black leather along with red stitching, which is a really nice accent. Of course, that matches everything else in this vehicle. You'll also notice on the right side, we have all of the cruise control adjustments. Over on the left side is volume and tuning for the radio, along with Bluetooth and voice commands. And you also notice the really nice trim pieces that surround it, just to give it a great look. As we work our way to the left side now, you'll see traction control along with a dimmer switch for the gauges. There's the release for the trunk and a carbon fiber trim piece, which is a really great touch to see. And then as we work our way to the center, you'll see there's another LCD screen along with this cover here that's finished off in leather and stitching. But there's a lot of information that you can go through within the system by using this button right in the middle. So right now you can see we have boost along with acceleration, PSI. There's also the time. If I press and hold this now, you can go into a lot more information like the date and time, the display. There's different screen settings to go into. You can look at your maintenance along with driving history, any car settings that you'd like to go into, and then you can click on the back arrow. You can scroll down and look at the time along with the date. And then there's some other gauges you can pull up, like your MPG and then your range until empty. And then you can also look at where the power is being sent in this all-wheel drive system, along with the outside temperature there. You can also look at your averages along with your acceleration. So if I give the vehicle some gas, you can see that setting on the right side adjust, of course. And then we're back to this setup here. So it's really nice to see all of that separated from the gauge cluster. So it gives it more of a sporty look. You'll also notice there are two air vents on both sides of that control. And then right in the middle is the 7-inch screen. So you can see power and volume on the left side along with tuning on the right side. If I click on this home button now, you can pull up these apps here like phone. You have settings to go into, media and radio. And then there's also a few blank pages where you can add some apps if you'd like to. There's also shortcuts to phone and apps over on the left side, so you can pull up any of those that you use. And then on the right side is radio and tuning as well. So it's a really easy system to go through with all this usable information. And then just underneath that, we have all the climate controls. So we have temperature on the left side. You'll see that adjust on that upper screen too. Fan speed is right in the center. And then where you like the air to go is over on the right side. And again, you'll see all those adjustments up in the upper screen. And then working your way below that, you'll see this large compartment. It has a 12 volt on the back side. And then just behind that, we have the 6-speed manual. So going into reverse, I'm gonna pull this up, go all the way to the right and back. And you'll see the backup camera up here with all the guidelines. So really nice graphics for this vehicle. We also have the manual parking brake along with 2 cup holders and a little bit of storage. You'll also notice the heated seat controls right in the middle. And then working our way to the center armrest, you'll see it's finished off in leather along with more red stitching. And there's a good amount of storage space along with 2 USBs, an auxiliary port, and a 12 volt if you need to use it. And then looking at the glove box now, you'll see more of that carbon fiber trim just above that. And then we have plenty of space in the glove box for all of that information. We'll take one last look at these 2-tone seats here. And then as I mentioned earlier, this does have a sunroof. This is a manual adjusting sunshade, so we can open that up. We have all the controls up in the center along with the dome lights as well. Now that I'm in the back seats of this WRX, I'm gonna start off with the amount of room that I have. This is a very practical family sedan. You can put full-size adults in the back seats here. I'm 5'10", I have the front seat set at my height. Plenty of room for my feet and my legs, and around 2 or 3 inches above my head. So there's definitely plenty of space. I could have 2 other people next to me if I wanted to. If there wasn't someone in this middle seat, we have the fold down armrest along with 2 cup holders. And these seats also fold down. They have a 60-40 split to them. So if you need to use this every day and you need that extra interior storage, you can fold them down. That provides you with a lot more space. And last up, we'll take a look at the trunk storage space. So I'm just gonna use this button up underneath the liftgate. We can open this up and you'll see there's a lot of room, even with the back seats up, a nice flat surface to put in any larger items. And then when you fold those back seats down, you can see there's no overhangs. You can put in a lot if you need to use it. This also extends to the passenger side and the driver's side, so you can put in larger items sideways if you'd like to. And then the trunk lid is very lightweight, making it very easy to close. Alright, so getting this 2021 Subaru WRX Premium out on the road now, this is such a fun car to check out, and it's not the first one that I've been behind the wheel of this year. So I've been in a few different trim levels. I'll link down the Limited that I reviewed down in the description below, so you can see the differences between that and the Premium that I'm in today. But this is such a fun, practical family sedan that still offers a manual transmission. So if you want a sporty car and you want to drive that manual, but you have kids, you need a little bit larger of a vehicle, but you still want something that's practical and fun to drive. Not doing anything too crazy in this. But this gets up and moves, and I love too that you can see what gear you're in right in the center of that LCD screen. So if you do forget for whatever reason, it's right there in front of you, which is helpful if you're taking this on some back mountain roads or even out on the track. I think it's really nice to be able to see that just so you don't have to remember what gear that you're in. But it's awesome that you can still get this in a manual, and it's a very easy manual to drive. I've read through some comments on my previous WRX videos, and this would be a great first car if you've never been in a manual or you've never driven a manual transmission vehicle. And the clutch pedal is very light, making it easy to drive. The bite point is kind of quick and engaging, so it's not too tricky. You can get used to it fairly quickly, or hopefully you can. And then the shifter is very nice. I love how smooth it is. You know when you're in that next gear, it just has a great feel to it. So it's awesome if you've never been in a manual. Definitely a fun car. Very practical, as I mentioned too. You can put people in the back. There's plenty of room with these seats even folded down if you need it. And the fact that this is all-wheel drive, you can drive this every single day. You can drive it in inclement weather. It's going to provide you with all that grip pretty much all the time, making this a great daily if this is your only vehicle. And now let's move on to some more practical things with this car, like visibility. Very easy to see all around. We have large windows in all directions. We even have this small window in front of these side mirrors, which gives you a lot more visibility, especially on that passenger side. And then looking over my left shoulder and my right shoulder, the pillars are pretty thin back there, so it's very easy to see in all directions. And I love the layout on the interior too. We have the center screen here with all the information that you need, and you can have all of those gauges up top if you want to monitor all of that information, especially if you're out on the back roads like I mentioned earlier. This car is also really easy to rev match on the downshifts. We'll take this corner here, not going fast of course, but give it a little bit of gas and we're already back up to the speed limit. But aside from that, it's a really nice car to drive. It's very comfortable. I love all the materials too. We even have the heated cloth seats, which is something you don't see too often with cloth seats, having the heated option. Very comfortable. I love the bolstering support that they have. So if you're taking this out on some turns, they're definitely going to hold you in place really well. But it's awesome to see with the WRX as well, the tuning potential for this car. Straight off the lot though, factory, it's really powerful. It sounds great. The exhaust isn't crazy loud, has a nice tone to it, but for a daily driver, it's very comfortable. But the tuning potential that the WRX has is a lot. There's so many mods you can do. As we come around this left-hand turn now, kind of on the gas just slightly. I'm at 38% according to my acceleration diagram right in the middle there. But there's so much tuning potential if that's something you want to do. But if you're looking for a stock vehicle, this definitely has plenty of power too. And I also briefly just wanted to touch base on this versus getting an STI. I had a lot of comments, should I get a fully loaded WRX or a base STI? And basically it just comes down to what your preference is. On the base STI, you won't have any features like the sunroof, and there's a few other things on the interior. Of course, you'll have a little bit more horsepower with that engine, but it kind of just depends on what you're looking for in a car. If you want that larger engine, you want to do some mods to it, and you don't really care about the other things like the sunroof, go with the STI. If you want all of those features, you don't really care about the extra horsepower, you just want a great daily driver that's fun to drive, and you want all of those amenities, you can go with the WRX. So it's really nice how you have different options that you can go with, of course, just based on your needs and what you're looking for in your daily driver. But I think that's going to wrap it up for my walk around review and test drive, getting behind the wheel of this 2021 Subaru WRX. Once again, huge shout out to Randy Marion Subaru for providing this vehicle for me today. Make sure you check out their website. That link is down in the description below. And if you enjoyed today's video, give it a huge thumbs up. Consider smashing that subscribe button if you'd like to stay up to date on our daily uploads. And I'll see you in the next video.